Alright, Mijungu, I think tuanze na mambo ya Kenya Power. Nimeona Kenya Power kuna masaibu, watu wanahamia solar, serikali imeshindwa kupeana a company that enjoys a monopoly. There's nobody else who distributes electricity in this country.
Imagine.
Kenya Power, they are making losses. Now everybody is moving to solar. Is that the future of this country?
Asante sana Bitok. Bitok, by the way, I will talk as a citizen. We cannot have a monopoly in this country who does everything, that does everything, hears everything. KPLC is everything, yet they do nothing to consumers. A while back, we were just talking about people going into solar. And I will tell you, the government will come for us. Even when you go to solar, they'll say you are now generating your own electricity for some reason. So they'll just find a way of taking you back there. So the problem is not us going for solar or our issue should be about restructuring KPLC and getting it to work for the people of Kenya. But to say that we can ultimately go for a sustainable solution in solar, I do not think that would ever happen. We have to organize that company and get the national grid to serve us as Kenyans. We are talking about powering up our trains. You remember the SGR should now have should be electrified or something like that.
Oh, really?
Of course.
The boogie can text him.
Yeah, the boogie will have to. I mean, let me tell you, we talk in this era today. We are talking about hyperloops. Virgin has just tested an hyperloop mode of transport in the US. I mean, we are talking about an hyperloop, and we are still talking about an SGR that is diesel run. We are talking about problems of having electricity supply. Yet other countries are even past trains today. Yeah, they are talking about you traveling at the speed at more than the speed of sound. Yeah.
So tutafute pesa nyingine ya kuweka stima hii bugibugi ya diesel. Ama itawekwa nje nyingine tena.
Unajua kuweka wataweka. Yeah, kuweka wataweka. I think the whole idea is to organize KPLC.
And the question is, how do you speak about even restricting KPLC? KPLC, first of all, is a monopoly. The other day they have increased bills by 20%. Unopposed. They wake up every day and they say, okay, we are going to increase the bills. So what is the match that we can still do for KPLC? Because as you look at it, we were talking about also interest in terms of their family that are said to be having shares, bigger shares there. And also everybody is pushing is actually pulling to their hand. Mwananchi, affair mwananchi iko wapi? Where are the interest of the mwananchi?
Let us hope that the fact that people have started to move away from KPLC, that already threatens them. Let us hope that puts in their mind what can I say? Let it be something that gets them to get back, to get off their backside and do something around KPLC. Yeah, if that threatens them, then I hope they will wake up from that slumber and be able to do something about it. But you cannot say that it can never be restructured. I think it is possible. We have enough brains around here. I do acknowledge that there are a lot of interests around the country that are so embedded within KPLC, and that is because it is a monopoly. Another way we could go is to probably license other electricity distributors.
Why haven't we done that, by the way?
Because it's a monopoly and it is controlled by interest. So this also goes to the question of how we elect our leaders. Do we want to elect people who have interests? For the US, for example, Trump had a lot of interest in the hoteling industry and all. And you see what happens. Yeah, while leaders would fly and would sleep in the hotels, would consider some bribery. So interests are all over. It's not only unique to us as Kenyans. It's all over, but we have to find a way of taming it. And I think liberalizing the distribution market, I think that would be a way to go. Yeah, because in the communication sector, we do have like 4 or 5 players within it, and many more will come. Yeah, we will soon probably have people who have companies that only operate online, I mean, through virtually through the internet. Yeah, so which will be a challenge to them as well.
But do you think the government is going to allow these sort of things? Because even the online business they're talking about is being taxed already. Do you think the government is going to allow its monopoly in power to be interrupted?
My brother, this is a country that punishes success. The moment you will have a sizable chunk of Kenyans doing solar, believe you me, they will come for you in your own houses. Probably there will be regulations of how you should have solar. There will be probably regulations of the quality of the kind of solar that you have to put to your house. Probably NEMA would have to approve you having to put a gadget in your house, and all these other sort of things. These things will happen. So if you think buying solar is denying government revenue in one way or another,
they'll still find you.
Oh, they'll still find you. Believe you me. Yeah.
Hata kutoka kwa solar uende utengeneze ile wind power.
At a wind power, they'll still find you. As long as you'll be generating your own energy, prepare. They will be there.
Then how do we inspire the economy? You're talking about empower manufacturing in the country. How do we industrialize the country without power?
I mean, that is the biggest thing that threatens KPLC, because if it cannot work, then how do you do manufacturing? Because that is all the hallmark of all job creation within a state or within a country. So I am hoping the reaction of Kenyans to go for solar in the short term. Let it be like a wake-up call. In the medium term or long term, I do not think we'll go there. We will likely to have a solution within the next 2 to 3 or 4 years to get this KPLC working and all. Yeah,
but we are promising the youth jobs. How are you going to create jobs when you don't? Why are we not fixing? Why not fixing the basic problems? And that's why I also disagree with the proposal you're even seeing in the BBI report, that somehow miraculously youth will have jobs. Right now we are talking about industries that are dying because there's no power. I mean, how much garbage can we sell to young people?
Yeah, I know. I know the BBI is recommending the Youth Commission. That's not an end to itself. I've been the chairman of the National Youth Council, and I know how hard, or I know what it means to organize young people. It's a very, very dynamic group. And in my estimation, the Youth Commission has put in the Constitution, I don't know the legislation that is likely to be behind it if it passes, but a Youth Commission is not likely to give you any job. Probably it would look at matters of mainstreaming youth issues within government, have a bit more of an independent budget and all that. But how many youth can the commission take? Yeah. And how do you come up with a commission that is more or less appointive than representative in other forms? I would have loved a commission. Maybe probably this could go into legislation, a commission that is elected, so that at the end of the day it is representative of the real views of young people in the country. But as it is, I do not think the Youth Commission is bad. I think it is a plus for young people in terms of engagement at the highest level of government. That is fair, but the legislation behind it should make sure that the kind of commission we get in terms of pushing young people's issues in the country is one that is representative. Well, otherwise, you'll get any president who cares will appoint anybody he cares to be in the commission, and that would be the end of the youth issues. They'll tell you, oh, but you have a commission, but the commission doesn't work anyway.
But what exactly is the commission supposed to achieve, in your own opinion? And in which way? What is the roadmap to achieving anything for young people through a commission?
Yes, because
when you talk about creating jobs, it's extremely it's extremely. I mean, it's not something you can maneuver through papers and theses and write theories and all that. It's very practical. Yeah. Like you're creating manufacturing, you're expanding the industrialization mark, you're building more factories, probably you're getting more people into business. I mean, how is the commission planning to achieve all these things without the right structure around it?
The whole idea of getting the youth function to work, probably not a commission, probably not even a ministry. It's a wholesome agenda. I do believe that youth issues should be in every ministry. In fact, I do believe that there should be.
But you have all ministry.
Yes, I do believe that you should actually have a person responsible for youth matters at the highest level of every ministry, probably as an advisor in every ministry, so that everything that is decided at the policy level in any ministry, then you'll have to engage the youth based on that. But to say probably there is a thinking that the commission will be able to force some of these things, which I doubt, because look at the Commission for Implementation of the Constitution. It's a commission that was largely ignored. You look at the National Commission of Integration Commission. I mean, it's a toothless commission. Probably the commission that has ever worked in this country is the Teacher Service Commission, and probably the one that now proposed as the Health Service Commission. Those are two that could work. But these other ones, even the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, would you say that it works? Today they go, they make a decision of having members of parliament to earn 400,000. The next day, members of parliament threaten to withdraw a budget for them. They review it. So does it work? I don't think it works. I don't think it has stayed. I don't know what the kind of reviews. I'm not so sure the kind of reviews that they've done to ensure that Salaries and Remuneration Commission works, especially when we are likely to have many members of parliament. I think it is important that they be given average salaries, not the kind of salaries that they're earning that would be more of a burden to Kenyans or to the taxpayer. Yeah.
All right. Even as we talk about the commission, you say that you started as a chairman for NYC. What are some of the achievements that you made at NYC?
I institutionalized the organization. The organization probably runs on my vision to date. I was the only person.
Let's even talk about the institution itself. What has it achieved?
Let me tell you. Before you get, when we were elected as representatives of the council, we got into an office with no secretariat, an office with no budget, an office with nothing to do with facilitation towards achieving the youth agenda. By the time we left in 4 years that we served, within 4 years, we had already put all these things in place. And I am proud that it's an institution that can stand on its own. What lacks today? What lacks today is the fact that they have not done an election to get members elected the way we were from the grassroots, to be able to be representatives of young people in that council. Otherwise, National Youth Council has a proper strategic plan. Basically,
achievements. Achievements. Can we hit out some of the achievements?
Basically, institutionalization. That would be what we had done. But to say that there's something extra that you're supposed to do, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to be a voice of the young people. You're supposed to be out there lobbying for young people to get into public institutions. You're supposed to be mainstreaming young people's issues. I think these are things that are ongoing. You're supposed to be a participant, not a passenger in government affairs. These are things that are done. You know, there's this expectation that a council or a youth commission could probably create a job. That cannot happen. Jobs are created by the Ministry of Industrialization, probably the Ministry of Agriculture. Yeah,
but you've talked about lobbying. But so how much jobs have we lobbied?
Of course, a lot. There are a lot of achievements. If you go to every ministry, you're likely to find the youth function mainstreamed within those ministries. You're likely to find appointments in most boards, young people, and that is something that has been taken up. There are representatives in the Youth Enterprise Development Fund, for example. There are representatives in the National Employment Authority, for example. So we had tried to make sure that young people can be engaged in different spheres of government. And this has happened. It will not happen in a day, not in a year, but certainly it happens and it grows. And once it happens, it never turns back. Then the biggest problem we face today, why there could be a weakness in terms of taking care of the youth function, is the fact that there has not been a board in the last 2.5 years, or even 2 years. They don't have a board. How they make policies there that influence and impact young people's lives, that is the biggest problem that we have today. How hard is it for a government to do an election that it's not by universal suffrage? Basically, it's a delegate selection. So it should be very, very easy. We went through it and we succeeded in doing what we could do. Let others do it.
So even when you talk about it, I mean, so what makes us think that now a youth commission will work better than a ministry? We already have a youth ministry. We have, and I see the Youth National Youth Council. What makes us feel now, finally, now we have a commission that will work better? Because it's about the political goodwill.
I will tell you, yes, even if you gave the youth a whole ministry, even if you gave them a whole government to run things, still the person who determines where everything happens, how it happens, is still the president. He is the last person who decides if the youth function works or it doesn't work. Him and his advisors. And I would take Nikal's words. The government is the president and people he listens to. So if he listens to the wrong people, it will never work. So it does not matter whether there's a youth commission. It does not matter whether there's a National Youth Council. It does not matter whether there is a Ministry of Youth. If they want youth issues to work, it will work. But my approach would not, after I've been there, and I can tell you for sure that my approach would not be a council or a commission. These are things that Mheshimiwa Sakaja one time used to refer to as the bouncing, bouncing castles, because they keep you busy but gets you nowhere at the end of the day. It's like a rocking chair. You think you're busy, but you're not getting anywhere. Where we support the young people, let us go. The best place to be, especially for a country of ours, is agriculture, for example. Many vast of lands. This is a function that the governors can take. This is a function that the ministry can take up and create jobs. You remember the economic stimulus of Uhuru Kenyatta during the Kibaki days, where they were doing fish ponds, they were doing farming, they were doing whatever. That really tried to absorb young people. That is the approach. The approach to solving the youth question must be mainstream within key sectors of government: industrialization, agriculture, energy. Ensure that they are there, they are doing their work, but more so agriculture.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright. Sasa acha nisome comments hapa kidogo alafu turudi. But we are still waiting for Karori. Kipchumba Karori has not arrived. You're waiting for Kipchumba Karori afike. Naona sijui amekaa wapi leo, amechelewa zaidi. Naona acha niangalie comments hapa kidogo kwa mambo ya sola na stima. Afika mahali hapa somewhere. Yeah, all right. Matelon Kevin said good morning, watching from Sydney. Salimia my next Kipchumba and my next telling BBI is a scam. Abdul one sama Ijera County, I think I read that. Ezra Mkeza morning, say hi to wakili, asante sana. Solomon Kiru one morning, class from Nakuru. Max Kimele asema Nash Ngari kiongozi kamia. Koske Arafnya Timoy sama good morning GB. Salimia sana Kipchumba Karori. Edwin Kipkwaji biwa sama tuko ndani kabisa ndugu GB from Rewet na wakilisha watu mzima ya Mwibeni 2022 nasema tumbele iko sawa. BBI Ad William atupe signal. Asante sana Edwin Kipkwaji biwa, thank you so much. Gilbert Chemei Serema anasema good morning sir, say hi to my alma mater OKM. Asante sana. Naona Rajab Kipkemboy Salila anasema watching from Garissa. How will BBI make Raila to concede? Yeye ndio shida kubwa Rajab. Maski anasema sauti tafadhali. Adata sketch anasema amazing Ignatius Kipkemboy keeps on saying good morning, watching from Eldoret. I don't see what will BBI directly benefit mwananchi if it will be passed. Sharon Melissa anasema Nandi huko kunanyesha. Nandi kunanyesha throughout, so la iwezi fanya. Kuntai Kulesama anasema I have put more than 10 in my own home now in Maralal. Amesema ameweka solar zaidi ya 10 kwa compound yake kule Maralal. Maralal unajua jua inawaka. So I think hapa serikali itakutafuta sasa, wanasema you are generating your own electricity. Joel Rama anasema yes, I have solar since 2018. And I have not regretted to date. I disagree with Mijungu. Solar is a viable solution. Naona Jerry Susama akisoma tusome so what. Ereng Mako jamaa wa Makinon Police Station anasema following live from Makinon Police Station Kwale County. Naona Jerry Susama anasema sisi tulihamia solar kitambo sana. Ken Ron anasema what is the difference? Right. Naona Ignatius Kimba keeps anasema Kenya is being taken to the dogs. Kenya Power is being killed by corruption. We saw last week when Charles Keter saying Kenya Power is running negative. We pay tokens and it seems we are paying to somebody. By the way, tokens tunalipa kila siku na sisi tunatumia stima na deni. We pay. You don't use electricity on credit. Just as Rotumanzama solar power is very cheap, cost-effective way to go. Avoid monopoly of KPLC. Yeah, teaching us some BBI is like a rose flower with a lot of thorns. Grab it if you like flowers, but reject it if you fear pain. Johnston in Bukula Resama solar energy is best way to go, particularly for rural lighting. This will enable grid power, cheaper for industrialization. So let's go for it as a future catalyst. Joel Resama, yes, it is sustainable. Unisolar. Edme Abraham Resama, my first thought, you're right. Kiptam Murko anasema power is extremely expensive in this country. Joel anasema what is the fascination with secretariat with every government related organization? Why do we think every time we need a commission, we need a secretariat? I mean, why do we know these things? Maximum anasema, so why do we need youth council? Why do we need youth council? Yericho Congress are very much I had mine in the village in 2017, and I've only changed security light sensors twice, and that's the only thing I've changed. Wow. So maybe we need to go fully solar. Yes, it's more sustainable, more than KPLC cutting power every week. Joel Ramasema, wrong jobs are not created by ministries. Yes, by the way, wrong jobs are not created by ministries. Please, Mijungu, reassess your statement. Not to be good morning there. Live from Eldoret, our lawyer is always wise. Asante sana, but we're still waiting for your lawyer to arrive. Isaac Kiprotito anasema good morning Mheshimiwa Bitok, the son of Kapsisiwa tuned in from Jupiter. Asante sana, watu wa Kapsisiwa. Kipkewangi anasema good morning watching from good morning, watching from Vancouver, Canada. Pauline Jerasama, good vibe, asante sana. Kipkwai kiwasa moja ni follow Twitter bwana Bitok. Abu nitumie link yako, nitumie ni yako nitakufollow. Iliso kwanza Mr. GB, commissioners don't create jobs, they work on policies. Why are you insisting in commissioners creating jobs? What I'm saying is, okay, when you talk about policies, we are going to be sure about policies. Then we can only have enough papers. How do we ensure that we're having progress? We move from commissions and all the other things to progress.
You know,
we need to see realistic things.
There's somebody who's amazed me say that jobs are not created by ministry. I mean, then why does a government campaign on a platform of we'll create jobs? They were going to create them from government. So what is government? It's ministries. Let me tell you something about the solar. It is not, you see, like somebody has already said in Nandi, in Kunavua Nyingi, and all, so solar might not be there. There are limitations to where you can generate solar energy and all that. So that one I agree with. That's why I'm saying, or I agree that it could not be sustainable solution wholesomely. That should be agreeable to anybody. That's why you have in Ngong Hills, for example, there's wind power. Why are they not putting solar panels there, for example? But you can actually create jobs with solar. Yes, as a Ministry of Energy, they can actually create jobs. So somebody is saying you cannot create jobs under a ministry. If the Ministry of Energy could be able to do solar gardens can create almost tens and thousands of jobs and be able to generate electricity that you can then pass on to the national grid anyway. And this could be a give and take. For example, in the northern part of Kenya, where there's a lot of sunshine as well, and they have vast lands. After all, we are allocating so much money there that they were saying that we are allocating money to shrubs and all that. Probably you could actually turn those shrubs or turn those vast lands with all those, we could actually turn them into solar gardens to be able to generate electricity from there. So this is possible. And when you generate, you can actually create jobs. Anybody who cares can Google, and you will find that solar gardens actually creates tens and thousands of jobs. If you replicate the same models in agriculture in different ways, I mean, a job solution for Kenya would be so easy. And might I say that solving the job problem in Kenya must be industrial. We cannot skip the industrial revolution. We have to go through it in part. I know right now we are at that industrialization 4.0, but I believe you me, there are things, if it's about manufacturing of food, you'll have to manufacture food. Yeah, you'll have to export it, for example. You'll have to, that is where you'd have to probably get your income. So at the end of the day, our manufacturing agenda, even as per the President's Agenda 4, must be agrarian. Yes. It has to be what you grow at home, what you collect together, what you take to the industries, and then you can have jobs up the chain. Yeah, from the person who grows it, to the person who distributes it, to the person who sells it, to the person who manages the company. That is how jobs are created. So indeed, I can affirmatively say that ministries should be engines of job creation. Yes.
But even as we close that discussion on young people, and one is the question is, when are we going to move from commissions and paper documents to practical solutions to young people? For how long are you going to feed young people with proposals and documents and commissions?
You see,
why can't we get practical for once? Why do you allocate millions of money to commissions and youth councils? Why can't we put that money into giving practical solutions to young people?
You see, the ministers are very dynamic. Today, this is there. Tomorrow, this is not there. And you might have discovered that a minister in one ministry performs, but when you bring another person, probably that person does not perform as good as the other one who left. So sometimes we found solutions around parastatals and state corporations, those kind of state corporations, or even commissions, so that they are a bit more independent, they have a bit more history in doing what they're supposed to do right. That is the reason as to why we tend to move to commissions, we tend to move to parastatals, so that we take those kind of changes that might not be sustainable within a ministry. To a fully fledged organization. Even KRA, for example, was a department at the Treasury. As at 1990s. In fact, it's Musalia Mudavadi who probably made it as an independent parastatal. So you can assume if the Kenya Revenue Authority today was still part of Treasury. Imagine the National Transport Authority, the NTSA, was part of KRA. It was hived from KRA. Imagine how hard it would still be for us to be able to register vehicles at KRA. It's much, much easier doing it at NTSA today than you do it at KRA. But now imagine an NTSA plus a KRA, which was now a department of the ministry, or of a ministry, which is the treasury. I mean, it was terrible. But today you can actually see why autonomy works. That is the best way I can ever explain it. That is why we probably need a youth commission to be able to sustainably push young people's issues. So that even if you have a minister somewhere who sets out to do other things, there are things that remain sustainable for the benefit of Kenyans. That is why you need youth commissions, you need all those funny parastatals around.
At least you know they're funny. Now, Arama, Joel Arama wants to tackle you. Arama utapiga simu 0779-800-010 0779-800-010. Joel Arama anasema anataka kutackle Mijungu. Unaweza piga 0779-800-010 0779-800-010 uweze kufinyana Mijungu mjue kunaendaje hii mambo ya pale. All right, we are talking about, naona tayari ameshafika. Hello Arama. Arama. Yes, good morning.
Hey. Good morning.
Umesema unataka kutackle Mijungu.
Huyo jamaa mwambie mimi nimevaa helmet yangu na nimekuja na baseball bat. I'm going to tackle him very serious. Yeah. Kwa sababu we have a duty to give people information and accurate information. When you say that a ministry creates jobs, that's a false narrative. The ministry creates an environment for investors and innovators to create the jobs. I come there with my idea of, if I'm doing solar, I bring the resources for solar. I'm selling the panels. I employ people to install. I employ people to maintain. I am the one creating the jobs with my company, but not the ministry. The ministry can only employ so many people to run the organization, not creating jobs. The ministry does not create jobs. Please stop telling people ministry creates jobs. This is why our young people are having problems, because kila mtu anasema serikali saidia. Serikali is not going to help you. They're only giving you an environment. What we should be championing is for the government not to put too much regulations on what we can do in the country. If I'm going to start a business idea and I'm investing 50,000, usia tunaniambia license ya cooperate in a county government and charge 40,000 for the license. The national government in charge another amount. By the end of it all, me starting a small business, the amount of money I have to spend to be licensed is more than my investment capital. It doesn't make sense. But we need to give people the environment to be innovators and creators of jobs. We should not rely on the government to create jobs for us. So when you come to these forums, stop giving people that false narrative kwamba serikali inatengeneza kazi. Serikali cannot create any jobs. It creates the environment for people to come in, invest, come up with ideas, innovate things that in turn will regenerate jobs for people from supply chain, marketing, sales, advertisement. Everybody gets a job that way. But ukigoja serikali kupatia itengeneza kazi, my friend, how many people are going to line up for those jobs? You see, when people advertise for a simple job ya walimu, like I saw one time in the news, Kakamega, they were hiring teachers, and then people are beating others at where rudi kwenu ukatafuta kazi kwenu, because you are not born in or you are from a different tribe. This is a problem that we are having. So please stop putting that false narrative. Yes, the government has a section it plays in creating jobs, but overall the government job is just to create an environment for people to come in with the ideas, develop those ideas into businesses that in turn create jobs directly and indirectly.
So tuaje mambo ya kusema serikali?
Serikali inatoka wapi bwana? Tutasema serikali mpaka lini? Hii serikali imetusaidia wapi?
Tufunje all the commissions that we got to work.
We don't even need the commission. Yeah? I mean, I will tell you, and I will send you this video. I saw somebody send a video the other day of this young man anauza a thing he made. I will send you the video on WhatsApp and you will see it.
Ile kitu inazunguka.
You can use it. Yeah, unatumia hii kitu, you can make it as a fruit basket, you can make it as a trash can. Unaweza pindua ikuwe maua kwa nyumba decorations. And I'm like, I need to find this guy. Because I can invest for him to create more of these things and sell them. I can find a market for him to sell these things even outside the country. Because it's a wonderful idea that nobody has. I need him to patent and have a funded from the government that this is somebody's idea. When you come out in this everywhere else, somebody comes with a simple idea. And within a short time, people invest. The government gives you the environment to create your idea into a sustainable product. You sell it, and you make money. And then somebody else anakuja anaangalia anasema, okay, you are a small scale producer. I can invest 100 million and produce more. Can you sell it to me? I'll buy it from you for 500 million. Wewe unachukua pesa yako, unatembea, unaenda kufanya vitu zako, ama una retire, you have a good time. But telling people kwamba tungoje serikali tutengenezee kazi tafadhali. And I'm surprised that he said he was a chairman of something or commissioner of something.
National Youth Council.
National Youth Council. Mr. Mijungu, unfortunately, I follow Kenya news everywhere. I've never heard of anything that your organization did for the youth anywhere, which means you failed in what you are given to do. If you never help the youth to rise up, they are struggling even now. Kila mtu anakaa tu anangoja serikali saidia. You never gave the youth opportunities to be innovators. I have seen videos of a young man in Kisii mwenye ameunda katapila ya kutoa mchanga with kibuyu na miti. I remember the young man who, when Corona started, the young man in Kakamega who designed a mtungi unakanyanga na mguu inakupea sabuni na maji unajioshea. Why did we get this young man an environment where he can make this as an actual product that can be sold everywhere?
Or the BJ150s, ile ya Laikipia.
Exactly. We have people with ideas, but the problem is we don't give them an opportunity to fulfill their ideas and give them an environment to fulfill those ideas.
Or the ones who always do helicopters that don't fly.
Yeah, I don't even mind about. I'm talking about practical solutions. Remember the young people who developed Kitanda, the same bed you buy from US or Germany for $10,000. There is a young man in Kenya who built the same bed for less than 20,000 Kenyan shillings. Why don't we give these young people the environment? And even if they cannot produce mass production, we patent for every bed that is sold for 10,000, they are given 2,000. Somebody else starts mass producing that, which means you employ more people for mass production. Therefore, you are creating jobs. We cannot rely on the government to create jobs. Jamani, Bwana Mijungu.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm harsh on you.
No.
That's the reality.
We are not, Nani, Bitok.
Yes.
We are not talking, me and Arama are not talking about different things. It's not that my approach is the way it is and his approach is simplistic. Yeah, when he talks about those small boys that are being innovative to create something, you do not need to reinvent the wheel.
Please, Arama, you're on speaker. Yeah, that's a loudspeaker. It's getting back to us. It's reverberating. I wish you could speak away from the speaker.
Yeah, we are not talking about different things with him. We are talking about the same thing. The truth of the matter is the government having a policy to create an environment where people can be innovative and create jobs is job creation by itself. Because if it does not do that, then you don't have the leverage to do that. So government, by its end, they create jobs. That's why somebody comes, he tells you will create 1 million jobs a year, and you vote them for that promise, is because you believe they will be able to do that. And in doing that, he's just going into the mechanics of how the government can create jobs. So we are not talking about different things. He's doing it in a simplistic manner. I am telling him in a wholesome manner, or the way it's supposed to be. So that was a long argument for no apparent reason. It's just being simplistic about it. If today, like I said, if the government invested in energy in the northern Kenya to do solar gardens, and there are 5,000 to 10,000 jobs that are available, have they not created jobs? Have they not even created jobs for the private sector to be able to maintain them? So indeed, the government might not be able to create all the jobs directly, but they can directly create jobs and indirectly create jobs. The government is funding the construction of the highway from the airport,
the
expressway, all the way to Westlands and Kangemi, your side. Are they not creating jobs? They are actually creating jobs directly, but they are also creating jobs indirectly for people who will use that expressway. So yes, they give an environment, and yes, they also directly create jobs. So the argument of Arama is as good as no argument, really.
Arama, you're rejoined.
It's not an argument, it's my opinion, and you go to any sustainable economy in the world, the government's role does not create jobs. the government provides the environment for creating jobs.
Why are they
so
blaming?
When you,
why are
I'm
blaming?
telling you what I'm.
No problem. Why
What I'm saying is,
yes. Let's go to those
your
countries,
idea
Arama. Arama, let's go to those countries. Why are they saying in Trump's reign he's lost quite a number of jobs, for example? And why are they saying under Clinton, for example, he created the most jobs? Why? Government actually creates jobs, my brother, and also government indirectly creates jobs in the private sector. So it's both ways, and it's not a bad thing. Let's not stretch the argument unnecessarily. Government can actually create jobs directly and also indirectly. So it's not. All the jobs at KPLC are government jobs. All the jobs at Kenya Airports Authority are government jobs. All the jobs at Kenya Ports Authority are government jobs. All the jobs at Teacher Service Commission are government jobs. All the jobs at Police Service are government jobs. All the jobs in the Army are government jobs. Government creates jobs directly and indirectly. And it also facilitates an environment where people can actually thrive. What is
the unemployment rate?
What is the unemployment?
So if you say the government creates jobs, what is the unemployment rate?